Hello, everyone. Today I am being joined by Chris, the creator of our zombie archetype. He is both the developer or I shouldn't say developer, the designer and the artist. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey guys, how you doing?
I have him here today to basically just talk about his background in art and also talk about what he wants from this project and what he wants from what he's in charge of, basically.
All of the money.
All of the money. Yeah, that would be great. That would be great.
That's every artist's ultimate goal.
Yes.
Got to have the money.
Yes, every artist, I think, is a starving artist or hoping that their next piece sells for the same price as its last piece, just so they can keep getting by.
Our one true goal in life is to become in among themselves a corporate sellout.
Fair enough.
Not really, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of which, that puts us at a pretty good segue here as to why you are selling out to me instead of somebody else.
No, if we were selling out, we'd be advertising like this. Collision Cast is also sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Okay, we're apparently going to just have this continuously be a joke in the podcast now. That's the second time in a row that we've made this is the second video where we've made a Raid Shadow Legends joke.
Well, yeah, because it's so annoying, and I'm sure they compensate pretty well, like the people who advertise
$5,000.
But at the same time, well, really?
$5,000 for if you're going to get more than I think 150,000 views on your video, they just start you at 5,000.
Holy crap. Where do I sign? No. If I ever get to that point, that's when I have to look myself in the mirror and cry in the corner.
If you ever get to that point, hopefully the person that you're continuing to sell out to is us. In which case, you're not really selling out because you work here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's start there, and then we'll go back in time to how long you've been drawing, stuff like that. Yeah. Okay. So we met through my wife because you guys went to school together, and
yes, we did.
You guys she hung out with people while you guys played D&D.
This group that I got together with we didn't have any classes that we were in. It was mostly just coming out of class, meeting up in the cafeteria, and it's just this big group of people, like a big group of fellow nerds and passionate people, and just like playing video games, talking, and like playing a couple of rounds of Smash here and there, and just like just hanging out for like however long we could stay. So
I remember those days, man.
Yeah. Best time of my life.
Yeah, when everything was just let's play video games and have fun and get really drunk.
Yes.
I miss those days. I miss those days
of adolescence when we used to drink and play video games. Yeah. Until we got caught by our parents.
Yes. Thankfully, I don't think I ever. Oh no, never mind.
No, we never did. Those were the children in the '80s, the hardcore kids.
Yeah, the hardcore kids. So. Yeah, I'm going to take over the story from here again because after I saw your art, I just approached you. I was like, here are our 8 archetypes that we're going to work on. Of the 8, which one do you think is the most interesting?
Yeah, you had the most professional approach I've ever had from somebody that asked for artwork from me. And then, because at first, when you were pitching this, I was like, is this guy serious? Because I don't know whether or not he's serious or not. Because this is slowly but surely sounding like very professional.
Yeah.
And everything. And then when you gave me the asking price for what you were looking for and like how you wanted this all to be done and everything, all I was doing was asking you like questions left and right, like just to like know what I'm getting into, and the price I was just like, oh damn, I don't care about that. It's like what is the job? So, yeah, he was giving me all this, and I'm just like, well, damn, dude, where do I sign?
Yeah.
But I still had to be cautious with what I was getting into because I had to think about all of this all at once. So I was just like, so once I agreed, I'm just like, okay, gotta get to work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm like, this is my first professional freelance job that I'm getting into.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
And like, I personally am glad that I'm one of the first people you get to work with, because I think all of you guys, Ashley, Matt, yourself, you're undiscovered talents. You guys are just at the point where you're going to be looking for those big jobs, and your skill, by the time you would be doing that, would be at the point where people would be looking to say yes. And so the fact that I could get you guys at this point and earn your trust and like get you involved with the project is so important to me, because your passion for not only art but the project for Collision Gate, I shouldn't just call it the project anymore. Your passion for Collision Gate shows in your art. It's very obvious that you really care. And to the point that I'm not paying you enough. Like,
yeah. Yeah, the thing. Yeah, I mean, with any project that I do, whether it's like self-commissioned or like commissioned by others at like conventions, that kind of thing. Like, I always like whatever project I do. I always make sure that I always put like quality over quantity.
Yes.
And quantity or something like that. Whether it's like, and because before all this, one of the big projects I was doing, I was also doing like these massive 18 by 24 like graphite sketches of surreal realism pieces and giant self-commissioned character sketches for Thanos or Five Nights at Freddy's, like fan art.
Yeah.
Fan art. And at some point I was like, why don't I just make a coloring book? Because when the whole COVID thing happened and really effed up everybody's schedules and everything, because that was by the time I started hitting the convention circuit, just to give that a try, take a break from school and then try going to one of these one-day events and everything, because it's cheap to get a spot and try to sell my work from there. And I was semi-successful. I made more than how much it was for the booth. And then once the whole COVID thing happened, at some point I'm like, I guess to make some money, why don't I just make some coloring books and try to sell them from there? And then time went by, and then I put together all my resources and then just put it together, and I was like, oh.
See, yeah, I didn't even know you had the coloring book until we met for the first time.
Yeah. Now I've made it now I'm trying to make it a normal thing where it's I have another item to sell off, another source of income, selling my own handmade coloring books now.
Yeah, because
which I'm gonna make more in the future, but for right now it's just the one.
Yeah,
so
because the thing that I hope that a majority of our supporters and investors realize is that while none of us are starving artists, we are at that point where we're ready to become artists for a living, or write for a living, or make games for a living.
Whether we graduated from college or have been self-taught and have never been to college because it's too damn expensive.
Yeah. Which in the modern day, college is more about connections. Anyways, I think a lot of people are starting to realize that there's knowledge that you can obtain in college, of course, but there's definitely a benefit to that setting.
Especially in art college.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Because if you're going to Cal Arts, then that's where all the main connections are.
Yeah, but the thing is that you're not learning the basics, the fundamentals at those places. You're learning the expertise at those places. You're becoming a master among masters at those places.
Yeah.
And you can't argue with a place like that. College, especially amazing art colleges like that, they offer you a launching pad is the best way I like to think about it. I'm not an artist. I've never went to Cal Arts. I don't know any people that went to Cal Arts.
I mean, you're right. It is along that line.
Yeah, because those connections that you make, those skills that you pick up, you can make them on your own. You can make them. You can learn those skills on your own. but going to school.
But the only thing about that is it's like a double-edged sword. It's like you get the connections, but once you graduate, actually, let me put it this way: like if you graduate from Ringling or Cal Arts or Art Institute, wherever, it's like even though you get connections, there's no guarantee that you're gonna get a job directly with that certain company like that.
Exactly.
So, and that's where it gets like disappointing for like most people. Whereas a certain percentage of those graduates like walk out with like putting out their own product, with like their own show, their own comic book, or like getting into this certain like orchestra, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I get exactly what you mean. Because I know a lot of people that are very skilled. Yeah. I've been very lucky to meet a bunch of people that are would be considered, if not geniuses, experts in their fields.
Oh yeah, and at every convention I go to, I see all these other artists that are like 10 times better like artists than me. But it's like where it's like I praise myself on my own level of expertise, because I'm still learning every single day.
Yeah.
And as I'm doing that, I can go about and like be a fan of somebody else's work.
Yes. See, that's what sets you, all the members of the team, aside from other artists that I ran into. Yeah. Because I ran into a lot of people that were professionals. Like, they've been doing this for a long time. They knew exactly how, they didn't have to ask the questions that you did. They just asked if I knew the answers to those questions.
Yeah, and even if the professionals that we sometimes look up to, like George Perez or Neil Adams or John Romita Jr., like they have that mindset all the time.
Yeah. The thing is, the separation between a student and a lifetime scholar is the mindset that you have. So there's somebody who's like, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to learn everything I need to learn how to do, and then I'm going to get a job.
Yeah.
And then there are people that are like, I'm going to learn everything that I can. College is a pathway to do that. Let me go to college. Let me learn those things. And then once they get out of college, they continue that mindset for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And there are people that take an even different third path. They're like, okay, I can't afford, or the constraints of college are just not for me. So I'm going to be a lifetime learner, where I have a question today. I'm going to answer that question before I go to sleep.
Which brings us to our next section. This podcast is also brought to you by Skillshare.
We are not sponsored by Skillshare.
No,
Skillshare, you're amazing. You're a great product, at least from my perspective. I don't know anything about you besides that you teach people stuff, but we are not sponsored. I wouldn't mind not
3 free months.
I wouldn't mind being sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is a great service. It's very much in our realm for the future projects that we're going to work on with our learning services. So, I mean,
if you can't afford college,
what's up, Skillshare? How you doing? Anyways, back on a serious note. So,
if you can't afford college, just look at a lot of YouTube videos of other artists drawing. That's how I work.
I mean, I personally think that's a better skill to because anyone can work hard and learn something.
Yeah.
But not everyone can learn exactly what they wanted to by looking for the right material to learn it from.
Yeah, because there are people out there in this world that are willing to learn this and say to themselves, I want to learn more. Like, I want to push myself. Like nobody, there's not a lot of people that have their own drive to do better at what they do. And it's like, no matter what obstacle comes in their way, it's like, yeah, there's always some people out there that are willing to do more.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. Not to always repeat this point, not to compliment my artists too frequently, but you guys all have that desire to continuously learn. And you're a better artist now than you were when I met you 3 months ago.
And let me bring it to this extent. I wouldn't be this better artist now than I was way back when. Because every time I look at like my newest thing that I've drawn, and I look back to all these old drawings that I did in like say middle school, and I'm just sitting there in awe, like who is this person that I've become? Who is this? It's like I can barely recognize my 7th grade self who's like been doing all these like doodles on their notes, like how did I get here?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. So you've been drawing since 12, you would say? That's a good segue too.
No, a little further back. I've been drawing since I was 4.
You've been drawing since you were 4?
Yeah.
Okay, that explains a lot. It actually explains a lot about the number, because the thing that I feel like I'm pretty decent at is picking up the number of styles that you've picked up. So like I'm pretty sure you could draw anime if you wanted to.
Yeah, but I've attempted to.
Is that where you got your line work from? Is practicing anime?
Not exactly.
Okay, I was gonna say, because you have more of an American loop to your lines.
Yeah, because this is coming from a kid who was mostly raised off of nonstop Disney cartoons, Looney Tunes, Hanna-Barbera, all of those classic cartoons. So and whatever was on like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
And all of any podcaster listening to this, any show that you grew up with, if you're a 90s kid, that's what I grew up on. Even if, yeah. So and all the old VHS, all the big collection of VHS tapes that I had at my mom and dad's house and my grandparents' house. So
that's pretty much how I grew up listening.
Take that as you will.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I grew up listening or learning to write stories. So I would say the first time I really understood how good a story was when I was watching the Book of Eli.
I don't think I've seen that.
It's a Denzel Washington film.
Because there's a lot of Denzel and there's a lot of Denzel movies that I've seen, and there's still some movies that I haven't seen that he's in where he's like really good. There's still a lot of movies that I have yet to watch.
So that must not have been because I was writing before then. So Book of Eli was when I probably realized just how good a premise could be. Like it's probably just a Book of Eli must have been a moment when I just realized how good they were, because I definitely felt the same way about The Matrix the first time I watched it, and I definitely saw that when I was younger. Like I didn't watch The Matrix in theaters or anything, but I did watch The Matrix as a kid, and it would have been a few years before I watched The Book of Eli. Right. But that's the moment that like I really remember thinking stories can be very deep on multiple levels, and that's because like at the end of the movie you find out. Spoilers for the Book of Eli. If you haven't seen the 2010 film Book of Eli, you're about to be spoiled. So Eli's blind.
Right.
And he's been carrying around a Bible.
Okay.
And he's protecting the Bible because it's not the words inside that matter. It's the symbol that the book stands for. Eli is, by all intents and purposes, a Christian. He prays all the time. He seems to be very Christian. He reads his Bible all the time. That was his Bible, okay? Or theoretically, that wasn't his Bible, and he just took on the name Eli because he was blind and he read the Bible. But right. that's a different theory altogether. Yeah. It's not where this isn't Matt Pat, okay? So, anyways,
are we calling other YouTubers out now?
No, I love Matt Pat. Pat.
Yeah, I love him too, man.
Matt Pat, if you're for some reason watching my video, why are you watching my video, by the way? Unless you're into cryptocurrency, in which case, Matt, I'm not a scammer, bro. You and I could work together. I'm a huge fan. I like your recent food theories. I'm going to try your KFC recipe. I'm pretty sure you're spot on. And finally, you should get Steph back into videos more. You guys are both very entertaining, but the bond you guys have is even more entertaining than the two of you separately. So like your GT lives is so much better with Stephanie. I get it. She's being a mom right now. You're probably never going to see this. The people watching this, the investors are probably like, what is this guy talking about? But hey, I like game theory. I grew up watching it. Anywho, yeah. Matt Pat. Anyways, so you and I would probably agree that you're a cartoonist.
Yes.
Like your skill would be a cartoonist.
Well, I mean, yeah. You start out like John Romita, like going back to John Romita Jr. He said he's like you go from a cartoonist to an artist because a lot of people would describe themselves as an artist.
Yeah.
So, because if you go around somebody and say you're a cartoonist, like then it'd be like oh cool, nonchalantly. But it's like you get to a certain point and you say that you're an artist and you draw for this. Nowadays, people will look at you and be like, oh, it's like so you're an artist, damn, nice. So. But yeah, I'm okay with whatever. Like I'm a cartoonist, artist, illustrator, that kind of thing.
No, I was genuinely asking because like I was thinking more of a cartoonist as the skill drawing for cartoons.
Yes.
I would say that's probably the thing you're an expert at this point.
Yeah. It's like cartoons are like my ride or die. Like because I grew up because. As cliche as this sounds, it's like I grew up on a lot of Disney movies, and that was like my main exposure to a lot of to like the world of animation and that kind of thing. And as I got older, I watched more like a lot of the ones that other like famous animators got influenced by. Like I would look at a lot of more stuff that was done by Glenn Keane or Tom Bancroft or actually no, not Tom Bancroft. I mean he is an animator, but I mean the stuff by Richard Williams, like a god among animators. And like a lot of Chuck Jones and a lot of others. That's where my interest in this began to like grow, where it's like I wanted to like draw more and like maybe and like possibly get into like animation, that kind of thing. But at some point I started to like reach a point where I was like, you know what, why don't I just start out for like doing like art and illustration for like a kids books or something like that, and then in between do some like animation internships here and there.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. But in the meantime, I'm just like learning more about like graphic design for like websites and for other programs like Photoshop, Premiere Pro, Canva, that like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because you want to make the jump to the digital space instead of having us do that for you.
Yes, because especially nowadays with everybody going the digital medium, I feel like it's essential for anybody that wants to get into this line of work. You have to have this kind of knowledge to like know how to do like Photoshop and whatever else. like whether it's for like advertising or for like animation, whichever program you're using, and like video editing, all of that stuff. Like all of this is in your hand, but you have to pay a monthly fee for it, which I know it's annoying. I know for people that probably cannot afford it and are like limited to what resources they have, but it's still essential for you to like know this kind of stuff.
And we're back. We had some technical difficulties again.
Yes.
I don't know why this mic doesn't want to work. We might have to get a new one.
Yeah, probably.
Anyways, we were talking about what was it? What were we talking about?
I guess what I describe myself as a cartoonist.
Oh yes, Yeah, because I was basically saying your primary skill is to do cartoon.
Primary skill cartoonist. Yes.
Which is why when you picked zombies as the archetype you wanted to work with, because didn't you pick 2 at first and then?
Yeah, it was between. Yeah, I chose between the zombies or the kitsune.
Okay, and you can still probably do the kitsune because I haven't found an artist for that, and the other half of the project is going to be shelved until we have something healthier.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit of a timeline thing. If you are tuning into this video now, this video is being shot in the same day as the new update video. Well, I guess this is kind of a video, it's a podcast. But anyways, this video is being shot in the same day as the update video. So what I'm talking about in that video is what I'm talking about now. So basically, we're in a stage where we have to make the digital version of the game. So that way people can have like a product to look at. And so that's why we're probably going to be moving into NFTs. Like, we want to give people a product to buy, something to look at, something to look forward to. And this will just be a special early edition, and it'll be. I wanted to do the black and white versions of your guys' sketches, and we're gonna call them the Founders Edition.
Okay.
So you and I have already discussed how that'll work monetarily outside of things. In the event that, so with that being said, right now, Kitsune is shelved, and the other archetypes are shelved for now, which I'm not happy about. But I mean, you got to be realistic. Yeah, we can only handle so much at one time, and I thought it would be better if we did this whole idea of we have this huge project. Look at our huge project, but that's just not how the gaming industry works anymore, especially not the crypto gaming industry and not the indie gaming industry. So basically, we're gonna make a good demo with what you guys have made. With the first version of the demo, it probably won't even have any art, just because I want people to know what the game is like.
Yeah.
I want the game to sell itself, and then I want the art to sell itself. Yeah. So that's exactly why I wanted to do it this way. Have you guys release the NFTs, have the art sell itself, have the game sell itself, and then once we know that both are what people are looking for, people that want to play games, that's the game they want. People that want cryptocurrency, this is the cryptocurrency that they want, and people that want NFTs is the NFTs they want. I want all of those things to be as close to checked off to people being happy as long as we're happy at the same time as possible before I just smack them all together. Right. Because that's always been my thing. Like, I've played a lot of cryptocurrency games. I know you're not super into cryptocurrency, but like the main line that I've seen is there's like 1 or 2 that are like objectively good games. Like, they're like, oh yeah, these are good games. Like, if you played this, you'll have a good time.
Yeah, I'm like so out of the current gaming world today. I'm just like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
I mean, the most recent games that I know I've bought were like Insomniac Spider-Man and
that was
and Kingdom Hearts 3.
And
that was it. Because those were like the sole reason why I got the PS4 during that time. But most recently, I just downloaded a Dreamcast emulator. Redream, and I've got like a whole bunch of fun Dreamcast games on like my PC, and I have my PS4 controller hooked up, and now I can play Crazy Taxi and Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and whatever. And any other awesome game that I have on there, and just be like, oh my god, this is so much fun. Seriously, at some point, maybe once this podcast thing goes catches on, I think we should do one where it's like we do like a where it's like we do like a Crazy Taxi contest.
Okay.
And the person with the highest fair score will get like a gift card, and like second prize will get like a T-shirt. Second prize will get a coffee mug. And third prize,
Collision Gate coffee. That reminds me.
Actually, no. Here's what we do. Like, first place, we'll give a random fan a blank dollar amount gift card. Second place, they'll get a coffee mug, and in third place they'll get like a T-shirt or 2.
That'd be funny.
Oh yeah, that'd be really cool. Just as a way to be like, here you go, guys.
That'd be really funny.
We're playing prizes for you.
That's yeah, that would be really funny. Giving back to the fans is always something that I want to do. Giving back to the future players and the investors and everybody.
Just like a bunch of us like getting together, just having fun, and then just giving back to our fans here and there.
Exactly. Yeah. That's one reason why I kind of wanted to do like not instead of just podcasts, I also wanted to have like gaming videos and stuff.
Yeah.
But just right now we're just so busy. Because I wanted to be like, okay, so I play video games, and when I play video games, I'll just record them for people, and then I'll put them on the channel. But I don't play video games anymore. I'm too busy. Like I was like, oh, I'll find
my life 24/7.
I'll find a happy and healthy balance between like trying to manage the company, coding the game, getting stuff together with the art. But no.
With me, it's mostly just increasing my inventory of like sketch cards and like 9x12 sketches and whatever else I just happen to be working on for like whatever convention comes up, and like just like doing just like me time. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Where like sometimes I'll play video games and go and like watch movies and whatever else.
Yeah.
Maybe scrolling through a dating app or two. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I've got nothing else to do.
Scrolling through a date. Yeah, I feel that.
The struggle is real.
I remember that struggle. That is not fun. I don't envy you, friend.
I remember the old me. I do not want to be the old me.
Yeah, I remember my old tasks.
Never again. I do not want to go through adolescence again.
Yeah. I definitely don't want to be my old self. That's for damn sure. Anyways, that's one thing that it took me a little bit to learn was that you could literally just make mistakes and then pick up when you have your thoughts together. Like I could say something properly, and then like when I was doing videos for the first time, you could say something properly and then edit it out, and then the space in between while you recompose yourself. Yeah. I was trying to do this whole thing where I just get it through with one take. I was like, I'll do one take. Yeah. It'll be fine.
No, it's impossible to do it all in one take.
Yeah, like I was like, I'm not going to do it on the first take, but I want to do it in one take, you know? Because like I want to do it to where I can just say what I want to say cohesively, but the added stress of putting the microphone in front of you and the camera in front of you, it makes it very difficult to talk in a way that I didn't realize when I started this whole thing.
Unless you're a Libra, then it just happens to be easy for you to talk to like anybody, like for whatever purpose or reason.
Yeah,
like this for example.
Yeah, for sure. But when it comes to like the podcast, things have been the complete opposite of what I expected them to be. Because like there haven't been that many edits when it came to the last couple episodes from what Brandon told me. Oh. Speaking of which, I mentioned Brandon quite a bit. He will eventually be on the podcast, hopefully soon.
Love you, Brandon.
Anyways, he basically said that these aren't that difficult to edit because it's just one long conversation. Yeah. Which is great because I really like doing these because I have you come over for this and we talk about the progress like face to face before we do this, and since we usually all work very like separated and we don't really like interact on a daily basis, especially right now while I'm coding, it's good to have this time because I like to know how you guys are doing, like because I consider you guys my friends. Like we're working together, but I do consider you my friends, and I want to continue to be friends. So like hearing how you guys are doing and like what you guys are up to and what you're doing in your personal life is very important to me. And for those who don't know, listening, like the only person who is doing Collision Gate stuff full time right now is me. Everybody else on the team is taking this one step at a time because
we're going at our own pace.
Yeah, everybody's going at their own pace because I want to be very realistic with everyone involved with the project. As much as we believe in this, as much as we want this to succeed, as hard as we will work, there's a chance we'll fail. And I want this to potentially be an asset on their resume in the event that happens.
Yeah.
And so that's what I told everyone. Like, the sky is the limit, but so is Bedrock. Like, this is basically Minecraft. You can either hit Bedrock, or we can go up to the sky and keep going for as long as possible.
Yeah.
And being realistic like that is important.
Or you can just beat Zelda without the sword and just like use bombs the entire time. It sounds impossible at first, but there's a way to do it.
Exactly. Which is kind of like,
you just got to be the one nut out there in the world that just knows how to do it and just prove all the naysayers wrong. That way you have street cred.
Yeah. The main thing that we've learned here is that we have a lot of improvement to do, and that's not even a bad thing, because like I would consider everyone on the team to be very skilled. Everyone is very skilled at what they do. Everyone is very accomplished. Everyone knows what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
And that may not necessarily reflect with how things look on the website and with the project right now, but I do have a point. I do have a point behind that. I want to get that audience of people when we're ready for it. For instance, right now, I don't want people looking at the project, because if they look at the project as a whole, right now, it's actually going to turn them away, because we don't have everything we need. So I would rather get to a point where we're like, here's everything we're going to release. Here's what it's going to look like. I'm going to give it to you guys all at once. Here's a makeover. Here's our marketing campaign. We're meeting with YouTubers, stuff like that. And that basically comes down to organic growth. Like, I want to grow as organically as possible, and you guys are the main reason that's going to happen, because your art is phenomenal. Like,
thank you.
Ashley's art essentially launched this entire project.
Oh
which,
God,
yeah. Her images, and then me explaining to people what I wanted to do, is the whole reason this got off the ground.
Because she's a college graduate. That's why.
Yeah. Well, no.
I mean, no, that's not why. But
yeah,
like,
I get what you're saying.
She's got more experience.
Yeah, she's got more experience than the rest of you guys, I think.
Yeah.
At this point, and she has acquired.
I grovel at your feet.
Ashley. Ashley's gonna watch this. She watched the last one.
Oh yeah, she's gonna hate me right now.
She'll be fine.
Love you, girl.
Anyways, oh my God, Chris. Anyways,
Hey, you asked me to be on here.
I knew what I was getting myself into when I invited all of you guys onto the podcast. I know.
Like my family is gonna listens to this episode. They're gonna be like, oh my God, what is he doing? Filter, Chris, filter.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't have it.
Yeah, not having a filter is very fun on most days.
Oh my God.
Most days it is quite fun.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, like really quick, getting back on track. We were talking about
Ashley's awesome.
Ashley being awesome, but more along the lines of like, you guys are essentially the backbone. Until I can get a functional game, which is going to take time. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Even if I knew every single line of code that I needed to write right now, which I don't. Like, the matter of it is, I'm gesturing with my hands, so just know that the first gesture is smaller than the second gesture. I have about this much knowledge in Unity and C# and video game programming in general. In order to get the game done, I would need to know about that much. Like, okay, there's a gap there in the amount of knowledge that I need, but I know what I need to get the demo done, and I know what I need to get everything running, and then eventually to the blockchain. But I just won't have the time to do that while also organizing the art and all this other stuff. So that's the main reason we did the change of direction, where I had Ashley step back from doing 2 and focus with you guys, is because I was really struggling, because there were days where I was on the phone all morning talking to potential merchandisers and manufacturers.
Right.
And then in the afternoon, I would be going through and editing the game's cards to make sure that they all looked right and were correct. And then at night, I would learn more about just the crypto business in general, like how working in a crypto business society, I guess is a one way of saying it. But being a crypto business and being a game business in general. And the main thing that I've learned is that being a game company is like disarming a bomb. There's a very good chance it's just going to blow up in your face. But there's an amazing chance that it's also going to be something incredible where you save a bunch of people and, okay, maybe not disarming a bomb. My analogy's falling apart.
Yeah, I'm just giving you looks like...
Yeah, okay. So, building...
That's a little extreme here.
Okay, sorry.
We're trying to get the people out of the Nakatomi Plaza here.
Nakatomi Plaza?
Die Hard, man.
I don't remember anything.
Oh my God.
I know. See, the thing is, I'm one of the people that argues that Die Hard is a Christmas movie because I love Die Hard, and it says Die Hard mentions more about Christmas than Home Alone does, and everyone agrees that Home Alone's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, but it takes place during Christmas.
So does Die Hard.
Yeah.
And they talk about Christmas all the time.
Yeah.
So it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I know.
But not everyone agrees with us.
Well, Bruce Willis disagrees with you.
Yeah, because it's a Bruce Willis film.
Yeah.
But being a
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, but being a Bruce Willis film transcends being a Christmas film.
Like,
so just because it's a Bruce Willis film doesn't mean it can't also be a Christmas film, Bruce Willis.
Well, because it's a movie written by Shane Black, and almost any movie that Shane Black writes or directs, the movie's plot just happens to take place during Christmas.
So
like Iron Man 3, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Die Hard. So
I didn't even realize that. So that's just one extra thing that just like. So is Iron Man 3 a Christmas movie? I think so.
Yes.
I think if it takes place during Christmas and they mention Christmas and there's Christmas trees, it's a Christmas movie.
Okay, we're going into a completely different topic right now. Like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure this part's also going to get cut out.
Yeah. Unless you're too chicken to hide away from the fans, knowing that you didn't know what the name of the building was in Die Hard. So
I mean that's fair.
Yeah.
That's okay. If you're beating
because they say the name of that building in that movie dozens of times. Well, okay, not dozens of times, but like enough to where it's like you know the name of the building.
My brain's still too full of other stuff.
I mean, okay, yeah.
to keep track of that stuff right now.
Yeah. Whether or not you want to cut this part out is your choice. So I mean,
I'll just leave that to Brandon. Yeah. I'm just gonna write this timestamp down. I'm just gonna leave that to Brandon.
You're a darling, Brandon. We love you.
He's the best.
Yeah.
The last podcast that we did, there was a lot of editing, probably. So yeah, 50, 52. Bam.
All the best podcasts have a lot of editing.
Yeah.
Don't they?
Yeah. I mean, do that? Yeah, probably. Because I mean, because if you're having a conversation,
I'm pretty sure last podcast on the left has too much damn material.
Fair enough.
Because of Henry. Love you, Henry, but my God.
Yeah, because my whole thing about podcasting is that it's a conversation between friends usually, or people that want to be friends.
Yeah.
Or people that agree on something, or someone who wants to. You get what I'm trying to say? Like it's a real conversation. Yeah. So the fact that it goes off track so frequently, I think, is kind of the point.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's definitely the point of podcasting, in my opinion. Which is why, I basically just introduced you. Oh, speaking of which, I didn't even think to ask you this earlier. Do you want to link your coloring book in the description?
Yeah. Okay. So anyways, like I said before, I put together my own coloring book, all original images done by me. The book is called Animated Treasures. I've mostly sold copies of it at local conventions that I happen to make it to. So it's mostly either through there, or you can I don't have a website to officially sell these at. So if you want, you can direct message me on my Instagram account, which is at Chris Weissing Art, Weising, which is Weising, Weising, when you could dance. I thank my science teacher senior year for that joke. Mr. Wassinger, you're awesome.
Nice.
But
Nice.
anyways, yeah. But yeah, animated. Yeah, just ask me about like if you want to get a copy of my Animated Treasures coloring book. Direct message me. They're on the books are $15 each, and we can work the rest of everything out from there.
Yeah. If you want, we can definitely get your stuff on the website eventually.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
you work at this company.
Like even if it's like products that aren't related to like Collision Gate.
Yeah. So the whole plan is that Collision Gate serves as a launch pad for others.
Oh.
So like
okay.
We're creating a game, and we're gonna make other games. We're gonna make other products and stuff. But this was from the beginning meant to be more than us.
Oh. Okay.
So for instance, when it comes to our NFTs, when they're on the website officially and people can go in and buy them and they're organized and everything, there's going to be an entire section that at the front that says main page Collision Gate only. So this is just, I'm interested in Collision Gate. Let me buy stuff that our artists and the company has made.
Oh, okay.
But then there's another tab right next to it, user made. And right from there, there's going to be just as many categories for people. There's going to be just as many people that can get in there. I want this to be about a community. That's the main reason we're moving so slowly and with so much intent, because I want people to do this. I guess "do this" is terrible phrasing. I want people to join us because they want to join us, not because they think they're going to make $1 million or they think that they're going to be super successful or that we're going to be super successful. I want that to come too. Obviously, everyone wants that.
Yeah.
But not everyone gets that. And so I'm not shooting for that. I'm shooting for something that teaches us all the skills we need to know and is our best shot.
Yeah.
Like, I want to give it everything that we've got, and if we fail, put everyone in a position where they can either work with me again later when I have stuff better put together, or they can go on and do their own things.
I mean, at the very least, this is something that'll like at least help get our foot in the door for whatever professional company revolving around this line of work we want to get into. So
exactly, yeah. So yeah, because either way, I don't expect you guys to work for Collision Gate forever.
Yeah.
Why would you? Like yeah, like let's say that hypothetically.
I mean, we'll definitely have a hell of a time.
Exactly.
Doing this.
Yeah.
Just
hypothetically.
like any other project.
Exactly. That's exactly where I was going to lead.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, everything goes perfectly. We become a AAA gaming company. We also are one of the top leading cryptocurrencies. We have our own blockchain. All those different things. All the great things happen. There's still going to come a time where you don't want to work here anymore because you're ready to move on.
At some point, you have to move out of the house.
Yeah, eventually you have to move out of the house. And that's the main reason I've tried to give you guys that opportunity now, so that way I can set a precedent for the future.
Yeah.
Because I don't want this to be your job. I want this to be your passion. And to do that, I have to basically show you guys, like, this is what we have, this is what we're going to do, make it your own. And that has accomplished the best stuff. Like, your art, from what I expected to what I got, completely different. Because you drew me a zombie fungus, which I was like, I just want zombies, just normal old zombies. And I didn't tell you that, and you just took it, and you made something that blew my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I was just like throwing ideas on a wall and see what would stick, and then as I was looking at more reference material, I'm looking at like Dungeons and Dragons and what they got, and all these other talented artists that like did this exact same idea, and just like but still in the same realm of like that kind of style, and I'm just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I can do this. I mean, I don't know. So, and like try to make it my own thing. And that, my friends, is why to artists our imagination is is our own worst enemy.
Yes, I hear that a lot from you guys. Is that sometimes
because we will put because no matter how much we don't like putting like tedious detail elements into whatever it is we're drawing, we still happen to find a way to put those tedious details into our drawings.
Exactly.
Because it would look cooler, and you will be in a state of, God, I hate myself, but this is so cool.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean, and that's yet another really good segue. So in all of the videos with the artists we've had so far, of the 2 that you are now the second of,
Cool.
we've done a little bit of introduction to like what the story of the archetype is.
Yeah.
Do you remember Zombie's story?
I know. To my knowledge, I picked up that this is an alien type of fungus.
A little bit. You're on the right track.
I know that the zombies are taking over Earth, or is this like another planet?
It's another planet.
It's another planet. Okay, so whatever planet it is, these zombies are taking over.
Well, it's another Earth. It's a multiverse.
Okay, so this version of Earth, these zombie creatures are. These fungus zombie creatures have taken over and are stealing and capturing, are consuming the resources that inhabit this world and they're bringing it to this deity that they worship, or they long to be consumed by. And once all the resources have been collected from this planet, they then can form into this one cosmic deity that then destroys the whole planet, and it's like a whole Ragnarok situation. And I'm pretty sure once that's done, they can go to the next planet and subjugate that planet and do the same thing over and over again.
That's more or less accurate. Yeah.
So what does this God disassemble or give birth to new minions to take over that planet or something like that?
Pretty much. So the way that this works.
This is some Galactus shit, folks.
Yes.
I love this.
So there's a fungus on Earth that is kilometers big.
Yeah.
And it's one organism.
Okay.
It's just really old. That's the reason it's able to grow that long. But it has a structure that is kind of similar to the human circulatory and nervous system. Mm-hmm. So within your world, that's way of thinking about it, is every archetype is its own world, except for the ones that are dual worlds, like the fair folk and the other world.
Yeah.
So the zombies were created when a scientist decided to experiment on that massive fungus, and in doing so, he accidentally killed it. And so he's worried because it's dying and it's huge and there's an entire ecosystem built on this thing. So to try and save it, he comes up with a rejuvenative serum, because fungi are already pretty rejuvenative as it is. They're pretty resilient. They can come back as long as the environment's correct.
Right.
Well, he amps that up to about 1 million. In doing so, what he actually did was imbue it with different types of DNAs to make it more resilient. And one of those DNA happened to be human. Don't know why this dumbass scientist decided to do that. It's what he did. He basically pulled a Rick. So the zombie virus is essentially not even a virus at all. Oh. The mushroom gains sentience.
Yeah.
And because it is able to grow and transform and evolve in such unique ways, it attaches itself to nearby wildlife that are essentially subsisting on it.
Yeah.
And in doing so, it merges itself with the nervous system to essentially control beings the same way that cordyceps mushrooms control ants.
Yeah.
So in doing that, it basically went out in a huge circle around the entirety of the planet, just infecting everything. And the creatures that are infected are half drone, half sentient. So they exist as themselves, but warped. So for instance, if you were infected, you would still be like a Chris version of yourself, but you would be a zombie essentially, because your only goal is to infect more people to gain more biomass. And then once enough biomass has been obtained, the creature has just been evolving as a side effect. It's not purposeful of absorbing all this information until it eventually is indistinguishable from a god. It has gained so much neural mass and muscular mass and computational ability where it's indistinguishable from some kind of deity. And once this happens, it realizes that it can spread further. Yeah. So in doing so, it kind of gains the ability to like speak telepathically across space-time, and eventually that entire universe is subjugated. Well, when you subjugate an entire universe, you gain enough neural capacity that you could figure out that there's other universes if there were. And so he opens up a door and enters Collision Gate. So the fungi are essentially an invasive species amongst a war of invasive species, which is the main reason that their field spell or their battleground their battleground is called Where the Dead Find Themselves. Yeah. Because wherever the dead are, the zombies will come.
God, that's so metal.
they will rise. They will rise from your best friends, from your recently defeated enemies. Like, I want the scene where these guys are announced. I want it to be like a graveyard of like knights fighting a bunch of different otherworld creatures, and then the otherworld creatures to stand up and look zombie-like at the knights. Oh. So it's like you win a battle just for them to rise up and fight you again.
Oh my god, this is so great.
And then you can be purified of the fungus because it's a fungus. You can kill it.
Oh, so there's a cure.
Yes. Eventually, there will be a cure, within the realm of the lore, and that would just be resurrection, which is an ability within the game. Where when you're a fungus,
eventually there is a cure.
Yes. When you're a fungus, when you're infected as a fungus, forcefully, you don't care about your well-being, so you basically just toss your body around to try and kill things as much as possible. Where when you're a fungus on your own, you can't really attack. You can just infect things. So it's pretty much what you do. Yeah. Which is, it inspired two completely different mechanics: the infection mechanic and the resurrection mechanic.
Like, have you ever does anybody watch those new Mickey Mouse cartoons? Like, did you see the one where they have Goofy as a zombie and he's chasing after Mickey and he's just like waving his body parts around chasing him like just imagine that. Okay, just picture that in your head. Got it? Okay, good. Continue.
Really quick. I forgot the date for a split second. I gotta write down the date for the podcast. Anyways, holy crap, that's the date. I gotta remember what's coming up. Let's not get murdered.
What did you think today was?
I thought it wasn't today. We'll say that. I thought I had more time for preparation.
I thought it was December.
I've definitely been there. The other day, somebody asked me.
Sleep this whole time.
The other day, somebody asked me for my date of birth while I was in the middle of a thought, and then
24.
No. Somebody asked me for my date of birth, and I looked at them and I said, 1876, and they were like, "What?" I was like, "What did you ask me?" I'm sorry, I don't even know what I said.
America.
I don't even like what happened in 1876 where I would have even thought to say 1876. But yes, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for bringing me on.
Yeah, I'm sorry for any listener. The reason we're not talking about too much right now is that we're trying to keep things piece by piece. I want you guys to get to know the team before you guys get to know the project better. And then once you guys get to know the project better, you guys can get to know the progress better. And then once you can get to know the progress better,
you get to know the people better.
You get to know the people better, and then the game should hopefully be out for you guys to experience for yourself, at least in some form of demo form.
Yeah.
Game making takes time. There's only so much I can do to cut the time down.
We can only do so many drawings at once.
Yeah, exactly. So
we have lives too.
Yes, exactly.
We can't help that.
The hope is to use the NFTs to get some capital, get some product into your guys' hands, to get to the point where these guys can do this for a living until they're ready to move on, and that's
so we can have this as like a permanent, so that we can have this line of work as a permanent job to the day we die.
Exactly.
Because we need retirement money, damn it. We want to retire healthy.
Exactly.
We want to go to Italy.
Oh my God, Italy's beautiful though.
Oh hell yeah.
Another side tangent, but yes. You made me lose my train of thought again, Chris. God damn it.
Yeah, I have that effect on people.
I think we were closing out. Yes, it was great. It was great to have you on the podcast.
Yes, yes, awesome. Now I can tell. Now I can tell every woman I talk to, I've been on a podcast. Actually, no, I'm in a podcast.
Yes, you're technically in a podcast.
Hopefully that gives me street cred.
Hopefully. Unfortunately, I don't think that's how dating actually works.
No, it does not. Sadly.
No. Unfortunately, your accomplishments mean nothing in the dating world.
Yep. Ain't that the way?
But anyways, yes, it was a pleasure to have you on. It was a pleasure to have you guys tune in. Our Twitter, Instagram, website link are all going to be in the description down below. But above all of that, right underneath the description of what we're talking about today, you guys are going to see Chris's Instagram. Please give him a like. Please give him a follow. You don't have anything that would you don't have a Twitter, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay, so just your Instagram.
From Twitter.
Yeah, give him a follow, like some of his images, and if you do, there's a good chance that you'll see forgotten, I guess would be the best way of saying it, Collision Gate sketches on there, because you post your art as it's coming out.
I mean, I wouldn't say forgotten. I'd say unused.
Yes, unused is a much better word. I was saying forgotten in the sense of they're not on the card
Forgotten
yet.
would be like, I just found these in an old folder that I did in high school, and I totally forgot that I drew these.
I got you.
And now I'm using these without re-editing them whatsoever.
Yeah. Best way of saying it. Yeah. You guys can go to the artists' pages. You can see the stuff that they work on themselves, which is just as incredible. It's the stuff that I hired them for to begin with, and you can also see stuff that gets unused because we're going to take all the images are technically owned by the company, but I give you guys free reign to use them however you want. Okay. So if you guys put them on your Instagram, and in my opinion, that's just great advertising for the company, great advertising for yourselves. But the main point that I'm trying to make in this little ramble here is give these guys a follow as they come onto the podcast, and you guys can get to know them. It's only going to be a benefit for you to get to see what you might have coming. You might get an early chance to see something that you're going to prepare yourself to buy. I don't know how to say this. These guys are great. Please give them a follow. They make amazing art, and just do it for that reason and that reason alone.
Just a lot of awesome people. I'm not just saying this because I'm saying I'm awesome. I know I'm awesome, but there's a lot of great people attached to this project, and they have a passion and drive for this just as much as I do, and it's just and hopefully it's one hell of a ride.
Yep, I hope so as well. So the next episode of the podcast, we will have the third and final character artist on the team, Matt, on board. And hopefully Josh will be back to join me for that episode as well. He unfortunately was busy this week. But he shall be back on the podcast as a regular staple next time. In the meantime, guys, like I said, please follow Chris down in the description below. Give the video a like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys next time.